or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard to find. Welcome to the One More for the Good Guys podcast, where good guys gather to shed light on the good life, the people, and the good things that make it that way. I'm Mike McGill with my co-host, Jamie Akins. Now, raise your glass, lend us your ear, and let's have one more for the good guys. Now, sorry, don't cut it. Hey, everybody, McGill Billy here.
And I'm Jamie.
Thanks for coming back, seeing us. Welcome back to One More for the Good Guys. We appreciate all the support on social medias, our YouTube channels, all that good stuff. It's been fun interacting with you folks and watching our page grow and all that good stuff. And we couldn't have done any of it without you. Today we're kind of we got a little time to do something special, and we hadn't done one to where we just freestyled in quite some time. So Jamie and I decided that that would just kind of be the topic of conversation today. So it may be a little broad in some areas, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. And if you don't, well, keep your mouth shut, and we'll all be friends.
It'll be short. So
yeah, it'll be short. But all kidding aside, thanks so much for all the support online. If you haven't liked or subscribed to any of our stuff yet, please do so. You find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and as well as here on YouTube with all our video stuff. So, yeah, just continue to do that. Turn new people on to our content and watch us go. What are you smoking today? You're smoking a pipe today.
I'm smoking a pipe today because I knew we didn't have a lot of time, and I'm smoking this number 150 Mark Twain by the Sutcliffe Tobacco Company.
Nice. Smells great.
It says it's a Danish-style aromatic mixture of black Cavendish, Burley, and Virginia.
Wow, so it's just got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it said Mark Twain on it, so I thought, well,
that can't be all bad, right? Yeah, I chose a little. I've been smoking quite a bit of these here recently with the weather being cold and if I'm outside or something like that. But it's the Grand Habano number 3. You guys have seen us smoke these on here before. Grand Habano number 3 lunch break, and
good name for it.
I'll tell you, it's if you want a little cigar that smokes like a big cigar, that one certainly does it, and it's packed with all kinds of flavor. I enjoy them, and they're perfectly sized for
30 minutes, 35.
30 minutes, 35. I mean, and if you really wanted to, you can milk some extra time out of it, or you could even, smoke it a little faster, if that be the case. But really great cigar, economical. They come in boxes of 50. So yeah, that's what I'm smoking.
Habano wrapper. Yeah.
And I believe I was trying to find it here. I believe it's made in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see if we can't find it here while I'm stammering on. Yeah. Any rate, I'll come back to that for you for sure.
So a lot of stuff going on. I mean, from a mid-month January, we're into 2025 mid-month review now. This episode will air somewhere in late January. We've got the national championship football game coming up. Ohio State, Notre Dame. That's in the news. Got a lot of crazy stuff going on with the transfer portal. Men's basketball team finally lost in a big way to Florida, and they have rebounded since and won a couple of SEC games, but they are number 6 right now as of today. Lady Vols lost 2 in a row, 2 heartbreakers in a row, and got back on track by beating, Texas A&M? No, that was their first. Maybe it was Arkansas. Whoever it was, they played this week, so they've rebounded there. So that's what's going on basically in the sports world. By the time this airs, we'll have a new president in the White House. That's on January 20th. There's a lot going on for first of the year.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Christmas Spectacular was the biggest one we ever had.
Biggest one. We did the best numbers. We raised $10,300, or in Second Harvest math, that equals out to 30,900 meals. That's a third of what we've done in 8 years. In just the 1 year. I mean, it was big. It was a big deal.
Trending in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And I would imagine that $10,000 buys less meals now than it did 12 years ago, too. Surely.
Well, they still use that math.
Maybe not.
3 for $1. 3 meals for $1. So that's how you come up with that.
Yeah.
And, sent out all the emails to all the participating sponsors and folks who were involved behind the scenes. And overwhelming replies of great, thank you. We got to come to the show. We enjoyed it. We appreciated all the brand placements and what we received out of it. And so, yeah, across the board, good reviews on all that. Real quick, I finally found this. I'm sorry. Come in boxes of 40s. And it's a 4.5 inch by 40 ring gauge. Wrapper is Nicaraguan Habano. Binder is Nicaraguan. Filler is Costa Rican, Mexican, Nicaraguan. And they're calling this shape a Corona. So really good little cigar, man.
I'm fond of that brand.
Yeah.
Like it. They make a Connecticut that I've got some of. Mm-hmm. And I think they're in Churchill size, but they're really good.
Yeah, I smoked one of those on one of the podcasts before. Yeah. It was good.
Not bad.
It was good. And then the classic one, the very first Gran Habano anything I ever smoked was the Maduro Corojo, the Gran Habano No. 5 in Maduro Corojo.
That's good.
And
smoke.
That's a really, price point wise too, you can't beat it.
It's a flavor bomb.
It is, and it's right. It's not quite as good as the Blue Label Don Pepin.
It's not quite as strong either, is it?
Yeah, it's probably a little under, but not by much. But it's for the price difference in the sticks, it's a great value cigar. Yeah, we got a new voice of the Vols, only the 4th time in history.
Which is crazy. Isn't that crazy? I guess since the voice of the Vols would coincide with radio.
It was coined that.
Would coincide with radio, but still radio's been around a long time. And you called it. When Kesling decided to retire, you sent me a text and you said you think it'll be Mike Keith. I was like,
well, he was the only one. He understudied under Ward. He was the gopher. He was the go-getter. He was the PA. He was the whatever John Ward needed, at that time. And, of course, Bob was just ahead of him in that regards as well. And when Kesling, when John retired and then Kesling got the job, I didn't know.
I was surprised that Kessling got the job the first time.
I was a little surprised at that, but as far as rank or seniority or any of that kind of stuff is regarded, then it shouldn't have been a big surprise. You know what I mean?
I mean, who else at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Keith was on the list then too, wasn't he?
I would think so, but he would still be under Bob at that time as far as, rank. And he had moved on. He'd moved to the Titans, and of course
he's from out that way. He's from Franklin, I think.
Yeah, and then the Titans had that miraculous year, and what was that? Was that 89 or
no? But 99.
99, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that. I thought he was the logical choice, but I didn't know if he would leave the Titans. But if you think about it, even though that's a professional job, right? To be the fourth in history to
you don't say no to that.
I don't think you do either.
No.
I mean, and so now he can be back here where he went to school, probably met his wife. He's going to have he'll have a little bit more workload, but I also think it, as being a guy who wanted to always do play-by-play and or radio, now he'll get to do the basketball games and the football games. So I think it's a win-win. And I don't know what it says more about. Is the Titans, we know it's a dumpster fire, right? But is it more of a dumpster fire there, or is it more of a thing is it more good things that Danny White is bringing to UT with him coming back? You know what I mean?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
You're having some down years in Nashville, and you're on the upswing over here. If there's any time, and here's the other thing too, this is your last opportunity to get that job because you're going to be too old next time it comes around. So you take it now or never, basically, because he's in his 50s, I believe.
Well, so, how long did Bob do it?
25 years.
25.
The last season that Ward did was the championship season.
And then, right. That should have been easy enough. I didn't even think about that when I asked that. But so 25 years, and Bob is how old now? I wonder.
Shoot. I looked, I saw it the other day.
70. Is he in his 70s? 72, 70,
70 years old.
70 years old. So, you do it 20 years.
25. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking in regards to Mike Keith.
He's 57.
57. Oh, wow. Okay. So he's older
than Kessling was when he started. He's older,
yeah. But I think it's going to give, I think it'll be good. I still listen to a lot of games. Last night I listened to the entire second half on the radio because I was driving. I was out and I was driving back here. And I still enjoy it. A lot of times if we're not down at Trailhead, with Good Guys Cigars, or if it's been a blowout, or if we're on the way back or whatever, I'd still listen to a lot of the radio calls, even as critical as I was against Bob there towards the last 5 or 6 years. But after doing this, which pales in comparison, I couldn't imagine, having the truck, having a producer talk to you, calling the action. And I still don't know why they call it on a screen that's like this fuck big.
Yeah, it's like watching it on that camera screen.
Yeah,
there.
and but at any rate, I think it'll be a good thing for the Vols.
Here's a little trivia for you. Kessling is older now than when John Ward retired. John Ward was 68 when he retired.
Okay, so he went 2 years past.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if also, I mean, obviously none of these things happen overnight, these kind of decisions or anything, but I wonder about, like, was this a timing thing too? You know, like they may have talked to Keith
2 years ago.
Yeah. 3 years ago, you know.
Just said, okay, this is my plan. We want you to take it.
What do you think about this?
Will you take it, man?
What can you, and knowing, because I think the other thing is not only is the broadcast going to get better, but I think a different viewpoint, different, you know, like all the shows that they host, the after shows, the before things. We're also going to get a little bit more, how do I say it? Well, obviously, different point of view, different guy, but I would think preparations and things that he's learned in the professional sports or in the pro leagues. Obviously, Bob was a professional as well. He was getting paid to do that for a living, but the preparation, the different insights, maybe different connections. I think it'll be good for the university.
Keith's pretty sharp.
Yeah.
You know, I remember him when he was here. You know, I was thinking about that. I'm 50 years old, so that means that Bob Kessling's been the voice of the Vols in my lifetime just as long as John Ward has.
Yeah.
So, because he's 25 years, and Ward was from 65 to 98, or 91st to 99. So, that's 33 years, right?
Yeah.
98, 34. And so Kessling did it for 25. But I don't have anything against Bob Kessling. I liked him fine, and he is somebody that was part of our childhood because he was, back then, you got your sports news from Bob Kessling.
Yeah, he was
the paper. There wasn't no internet.
Yeah, he was the lead sports guy on WBIR.
That's right.
So I think he, you know, and there's a coverage of his retirement speech where he goes and talks about a lot of that stuff from those days.
He interviewed Meg when she was 5 years old playing hockey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a videotape of that.
That's pretty cool.
She was just little bitty. So, been around a long time. I mean, I never really did identify with him. He didn't have the voice timbre that Ward had. Ward was just, you know, I mean, Ward is to college football as.
Well, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, like he goes down in the annals of.
Yeah, I mean, who's the best
football history?
Who's the most famous baseball announcer in history? It's got to be Dodgers.
Vin Scully, I would think.
Right.
He's certainly the most, besides him and somebody else that we were going to talk about today, Bob Uecker. When this comes out, well, obviously he
died today. Now.
Passed away today, yeah.
Yeah, so today is January 16th. And yeah, Bob Uecker was always one of my favorites. And you know, I knew that he was an announcer and listened to him a lot, but I knew him more from the commercials and stuff, or the guest appearances, or Johnny Carson show, or, you know, just.
Well, believe it or not, why would you remember him for baseball, his career? I mean, he was, he had a 200 lifetime batting average. He played 6 years.
He'll be an all-star now.
He played, oh shit. He'd be making $17 million a year. He played with the Milwaukee Braves from 62 to 63, the Cardinals from 64 to 65, which won a ring that year with the Cardinals. 64 to 65 with the Phillies, 66, 67.
Journeyman.
Yeah. I mean, was a 200 batting average, 14 home runs, 74 RBIs, lifetime. And was dubbed by Johnny Carson, who, for you all that are not old enough to remember it, was the absolute king of late night. I don't even think there's anybody doing it today that equaled.
Not even remotely.
Not
He's
even
the
close,
best,
right?
Greatest.
Well, not just like in personal opinion either. I'm saying that carries the moxie and or the swagger of being able to perpetuate someone's career, influence someone's career, or completely kill it as well. I mean, he was the Wizard of Oz.
Man, I tell you.
You know what I mean? Like,
Man,
the yellow brick road led to Johnny Carson.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Johnny Carson is, go on YouTube and you will laugh your ass off, man.
Mm-hmm.
Still hilarious. I mean,
I'm not sure if it's still up or not, but PBS did a great documentary on Johnny. So you can go on their website, pbs.org, and maybe try to find that. And I believe it was they have a section that's called American Masters. And it's in that
well,
category, but
which he was of that for sure.
But getting back to you, because he was dubbed Mr. Baseball by Johnny Carson. So
that's how I knew him.
Yeah, so this guy who was a complete backup catcher for only 6 years. One of his funny lines was sports companies pay me not to endorse their products. But when you're dubbed, when you're given a nickname by the king of all media,
it sticks.
And like, yeah, it sticks, and like, holy cow, he was also Johnny loved him and thought he was, brilliantly funny as far as his self-deprecating humor.
He was, man. He was.
But he was also he had more appearances on the Tonight Show than any other guest. Now, can you believe that?
Really? I did not know that.
Yes.
I thought that I knew he was on there a lot.
A lot of younger folks, we remember him from that. We remember him from the Miller Lite commercials.
Especially the Miller Lite commercials.
Yeah, must be on the front row. He would be in these commercials, and he would be, because he was somebody, he was Mr. Baseball, and he was, I must be on the front row. I got my tickets, and he'd go sit down, and then he'd be escorted. And the next thing you know, he's in the furthest corner of the nosebleed section as you can get. Or even the Bob Uecker seat at Milwaukee Stadium, they have a bronze statue of him sitting in this, and it's called the Uecker seat, and it's right behind the pole on the last row of the stadium, in the outfield. But called, now he didn't do it on a daily basis last year or the last few years, but still called Brewers games. Called the Brewers games. Born and raised in Milwaukee, went back into baseball as a broadcaster, and from 71 to 2024. I heard Al Michaels, who's a pretty famous broadcaster in his own right.
Great voice.
Yeah, great voice. Do you believe in miracles? Maybe one of the best calls ever.
Yeah.
From the from the Olympics when the Americans beat the Russians in Lake Placid. But he was telling a story that him and Euchre was doing a baseball game with Howard Cosell. Another, look it up. You got homework to do, kids. But Cosell said, was basically always saying, well, baseball is such a simple game, and he's always throwing his 2 cents in. And of course, Howard always loved being the smartest person and, has the biggest vocabulary. Half the shit he would say, probably nobody even knew what it meant, with different words that he used in his vocabulary. But they're calling the game, and Howard's calling for a bunt in this situation. Well, and Michael says, anybody that knows baseball knows what he's saying is completely wrong. This is not a situation that at any time that you would put on a bunt play. And of course, it was Euchre's job to politely try to come in and explain as the color, I guess, what would he be?
He'd be the color commentator.
But being an ex-player, of being able to say, why this is not the situation. And so he did it politely and whatever, in the only way that he knew how to do it. And well, thank you, Mr. Euchre. I appreciate your input on this, but you don't have to be quite so truculent. And he goes, do you even know what the word truculent means? And Bob's, without missing a beat, Euchre goes, yeah, Howard, if you let me borrow your truck, then that's the truculent. 3-2 count to Cedeno. Never missed a beat. And but I'd heard Al Michaels share that story way back when. I think it might have been on maybe I think it was a Rich Eisen show. But at any rate, I
like Rich Eisen's show just about as much as I like old.
So he gets started on all that Michigan shit.
Yeah, he shoved that in his ass there. But
yeah,
I mean, he the one that always run the 40 against Brady.
Yeah, for St. Jude's.
Yeah.
To raise money for St. Jude's. Yeah, I like it. Well, I mean, hey, you think about that. Hell, he's been around 20 plus years. I mean, started out on Sports Center and
at least that long.
So
he was rich, and the guy that passed away, what was his name? Black guy. It was on.
Stuart Scott.
Yeah, they were contemporaries, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that, man. That just took me by surprise when he died. But anyway, Euchre is a big part of my childhood because I remember watching him.
Mr. Belvedere. I mean, this guy had 6 seasons as a sitcom on network TV.
Yeah.
6 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, you must be some kind of personality or a draw to be able to do everything. Just such a storied career, from being a player, being on a World Series team, winning a World Series.
Bob Gibson's on that team. I guess he got to catch Bob Gibson some, huh?
Probably in the bullpen.
I'd say so.
But at any rate, rest easy, Mr. Euchre.
90 years old.
Just a bit outside. Known for Major League.
Also great voice, though. Had great, Cosell had I don't know if it's just that we heard them so much growing up that that's who we associated with it, but they had some good voices.
Definitely Michaels, and the guy who did, there was another guy, Dick Enberg. Remember him? He would call, he called all kinds of stuff, but I remember him from calling like AFC games on, whoever was carrying the AFC games at the time on TV as a kid. Would it have been CBS or NBC?
NBC, all those Chiefs Raiders games that he called.
Kurt McKay.
Yeah.
Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, voice.
Or not Wide World. That was Slim Whitman.
I never did like this guy, but his voice, I can hear it right now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's Marv Albert. Marv Albert had a voice like that where you're like, oh, yeah, that's Marv Albert. You know, old Costas is that way. You hear Costas say 2 words, you're like, oh, that's Costas.
Yeah.
So anyway, sad to see the old ones. I had 2 or 3 people today send me text about Bob Uecker. So that tells you how big of a deal he was to our generation without really being a good player.
Made it in the Baseball Hall of Fame as an announcer.
Hey,
yeah.
Should be. He'll be missed for sure.
For sure.
What else is going on in January? We we got another Jig and Reel show coming up in February. So February 14th. That'll be a great date night for you.
Yeah.
Right there. You know,
VD night.
That's right. She's wanting to come out and go out anyway. So just take her to see us. Food's pretty good at Jig and Reel. We eat there all the time.
Food's good. You can, we'll play some nice slow ballads and you can polish each other's belt buckles.
That's right.
When you dance. Maybe she's a little squishy. Maybe she's a little ticklish. For you to find out. Hey, listen, I've been helping drunk people get laid since 90
ish
something.
Yeah.
25 years.
You owe us. You owe us.
So if you need to get lucky, well, come on out. We'll play you some good slow dance music and some a little bit of shit kicking music too. So yeah, second Friday of is it the 14th or is it
it's 14th
12th or the 11th or something?
No, it's the 14th because you put in the text it's Valentine's Day. Another thing too is
right, yeah.
Here's your date night that you're guaranteed to end with a happy ending. Here you go. I'll lay it out for you. I tell your woman, hey honey, I'm gonna take you to the melting pot
on
Valentine's Day. Or evening, and it's right there next to us. You walk out of the melting pot, hang right, and we're right there on the corner. So you can go dose up with cheese and chocolate and dip shit in it, and then bring it over and wash it down with some beer and watch some honky tonk music.
Yeah. Get her a glass of wine.
That's
Hell,
right.
They got tequila there.
Right. You get some melting pot and some dancing in.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't worry about if you can dance or not.
Who gives a shit?
Don't worry about it.
Nobody cares.
No.
She's not going to judge your dancing ability.
If they do and they say something, I got the microphone and I'll make fun of them for not getting up and doing it.
That's right.
Will I not?
Absolutely.
I'll call their ass on the carpet.
It's like a stand-up comedy show.
Don't make
we
me.
We have no favorites, right?
No, it's all about it's all about having a moment in time and it being an event or being a night. And that's what our shows are. So, lots of good things. Hey, we got to NFL playoffs, Super Bowls, February 9th?
Yeah. Who you think's going to be in? Let's go ahead and put ourselves on. I've got it.
What's the games coming up?
You got Buffalo and Ravens.
Who you got there?
Buffalo. This time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are they at the Ravens or are they at Buffalo?
I don't know. I'll look it up while we're talking, but
that'll be a slobber knocker.
I think this is Buffalo's year. I think this is their year. I think they're going to win it all.
Wow.
And I mean, now, national title game is Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Yeah.
And
I'm going Notre Dame. I know everybody thinks I think everybody thinks it's going to be a blowout.
No, it won't be.
Historically, I've never liked either school. Okay, let's just put that right up front.
I haven't either.
But there's two things. Brian Kelly leaving because he said he couldn't compete for a national championship and then went to LSU and sucked eggs ever since he's been there. That's reason enough.
That's right. Brian Kelly.
I don't know why the media and the sports world thinks that Brian Kelly's the best thing since peanut butter. He ain't done shit.
He ain't done shit.
I mean, he's had winning records, okay, but there's lots of coaches that's had winning records. He's never won a national championship, I don't believe.
No, he didn't win national championship.
So I just don't. That's enough.
He's not likely to either.
But more so than that, I like the fact that this Marcus Freeman, their head coach, he's well spoken. He's been a football guy. He played at Ohio State.
Yep.
He's been a football guy all his life. He's come up under some of the best coaching trees. And when they announced him as the new head coach to the locker room of Notre Dame, the roof came off the locker room. And that tells me all I need to know. He's a great look for the church. He's a great look for college football.
And he's a good dude, man.
And he's a good guy.
He's exactly what we need in college football. And
absolutely.
Since you said that, at the first of the year, somebody asked me who was going to win the national title, and I said Notre Dame. Now, I was pulling that out of my ass, so I've got to stick with that. Is that what my gut say? No, I think Ohio State's pretty tough, but I'm pulling for Notre Dame, even though I despise both teams.
Yeah,
but I am very much a fan of the coach for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So I'm picking that Super Bowl. Here's what it's going to be. It's going to be Detroit and Buffalo in the Super Bowl, and Buffalo's going to win by 3. There's my prediction.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think, I didn't see the Rams beating the piss out of the Vikings. And for everybody man, why does everybody hate Sam Darnold so much? Dude. I mean, I don't get, yeah, he laid an egg, but big deal.
Yeah, but he gave you a 14-3 record.
14-3 record when you were going to be going with a complete rookie.
Wild card team, too.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're in Detroit's division.
Yeah, well, over the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, sure. This year. So I think it's only the 6th time a 14-win team. A 14-win team has been the underdog. Or the away team.
Yeah.
It's only happened a few times. So who's your Super Bowl pick?
Oh, man.
We got Notre Dame. Both got Notre Dame.
I got the Chiefs. And, yeah, the Lions.
Okay. Well, that's the 2 number 1 seeds. So that's probably what it will be. Yeah. But I'm thinking that Buffalo's got their number this year. I think that Josh Allen's got to put up or shut up right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So anyway, that's what's going on in January so far.
You want to do another one?
Oh, yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Thank you. Be kind. Costs nothing to be kind to people, but there's certainly always a price to be paid for cruelty. Life's too short to smoke bad cigars, and you heard it here first. One more for the good guys. Cheers. I'll be gone in the morning before the sun comes up with me and my weenie dog and my pickup truck. Either way, baby, a good man, it's hard to find. I said, now either way, baby, a good man, it's hard to find.